Good day and welcome to Computer Repairs with Rob. Today I want to show you what situation I came across. I've got a computer that has no M.2 slot. I want to put an M.2 drive in there. I would have been satisfied with just a regular SSD, but there isn't even any way to mount it properly or easily. So I want to show you which computer it's on and what I ended up doing. So this is a computer here. It's a Lenovo ThinkCentre M700 model. And I was trying to mount a solid-state drive somewhere, here or here or inside, but there was no really place to mount it without modifying it, drilling holes and such. You look on the motherboard, there's no place to put an M.2 drive because it's an older, well, it's not super old, but it's old enough that it doesn't have an M.2 slot on the motherboard. It is a 6th generation i5 that's in there, so it's not super old. So I thought, well, what if I can get an adapter to mount an M.2 drive onto a PCI Express card, and I could mount it in one of these slots. That was my hope, and so I ended up ordering one, and it came in, and this is it here, and it supports M.2 with the M slot, and you can see there's different lengths. The standard one that I use is the 2280, so it goes right to the end here. Turns out that it needs to be installed in a PCIe slot that's 4 times or greater. These two ones at the bottom, they're not 4 times, and so they won't support it. This one here will. Now the only downside is that if I wanted to put it in a video card, I wouldn't be able to do both video card and the M.2 drive. With the adapter, I would have to only use one or the other because it only has the one faster, PCI Express slot. So let me show you how I mounted this, and we'll go from there. So here's the adapter that I have. It's PCI Express, and it's got the full length bracket for a tower computer. You can get them that have a small form factor bracket, so it's obviously shorter. This one has the screws, so you could replace it, although it didn't come with the shorter adapter. There's all kinds of these adapters, it turns out, and some will take more than one drive, M.2 drive. Anyways, this is what I got. So simply, this is an Intel 512 gig M.2 drive. It's an NVMe, and has the M key. And notice this is what this one takes, is the M key. It's just the newer one. That simply slides in there, and then it is meant to screw in here with this nut and the screw that they provide. So I was wondering how to do it, because if I push this all the way down, there is a gap here, but no gap here. I wasn't really satisfied with that, because if I put the nut on the bottom and then the screw in from the top, then it has this angle, and I would rather, if I could, get it to be level in terms, related to the board. So the way I found to do that is if I put this riser, which is also threaded internally, it has a notch in the middle all the way around. So that notch lines up nicely with this notch on the M.2 drive. So that just goes right in there, like that. And then you push it down. And now it's lined up with the hole. You can turn it over and put in the screw. Snug it down. Doesn't have to be super tight, but it is snug. And now it's ready to go. It can be installed into the computer, and let's do that. All right, so now we're starting up the computer, and we will see. I've got it hooked up to a TV, so I need to select the right source, which is PC. And let's see what it does. So we see the flashing in the corner, the icon flashing in the corner. Looks like it's going to start. Hopefully it's booting to my flash drive because there's nothing on that solid state drive at the moment, as far as I know. And here we are at the setup screen for Windows. So let's go ahead and select Canada. We'll go down to English Canada. This is Windows 10, by the way, Windows 10 setup disk. It's I've got it on a flash drive, USB flash drive. And it's the, I think it's the latest version of Windows 10, 21H2, I believe. And we're just going to wait a second and see what comes up next. And we're hoping that it sees that drive. Oh, and there it is. It's a 500 gig, so it never shows you the full 500. Some of the space is always reserved. But there it is, and that's the good news. I believe that not all chipsets, probably some of the older chipsets won't support this M.2 drive or booting from M.2, but this one does. So it's kind of trial and error, I guess, and if you don't know what the chipset is and which chipset is supported, there's no harm in trying. The cost of this adapter was only about $15 or $20, somewhere in that range. It depends on which one you get. There's lots of them out there, I'm beginning to realize. So this is my first go at it. I thought I would share it with you guys, and hopefully it's helpful for someone who wants to put an M.2 drive in a computer that doesn't have the M.2 slot. All right, have a great day.